Nine cycles have passed. When the gods deem mortals too powerful, they decree a race between their avatar and the mortals to determine their worth. In the race, the mortals are granted a chance to engage the very gods themselves. The mortals are granted a chance of survival. The mortals are granted a chance to become gods. Lose and see all mortal life removed from the Kryn, and the next cycle begins. This race is the final command of the gods to their mortal counterparts. This is their dying order.
Boob, boob.
You want to keep saying boobs?
Yeah.
Go on then.
No, that's okay.
All right. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I give these guys like a 5-second warning. I'm like, in 5 seconds, we're going to go live. And they immediately start saying boobs. Okay. Professional. Welcome to Tablestory's Dying Order. Episode 400. I don't know what number this is, actually. 20? Is it really 20? It's wild. Episode 20, I think. Insane. With the gang. The gang are all here, including a new and improved Aura who has no hair.
Hold my hair back.
Oh,
Fine.
I got white hair.
Oh my god, it's totally fine.
No, Brad made me feel weird. So
All right.
I'll put it back up in a minute when he's not paying attention to me. So
Okay.
Cussed.
Well, this episode is known as Aura's Journey to the Barbarette.
I mean, I've changed my hair 3 times in character now, so it's okay if you want to cut yours, you know?
Yeah. Whatever.
at this point, I got to get in on it. I want to also change my hair, Brad.
You can.
Maybe it'll give you a plus 10 to your, I don't know what, something that you need. Strength? I don't know.
Everything.
Everything.
Plus 10 to everything if I cut my hair, Brad.
And my everything.
I feel like you don't get any more boosts.
That's fine.
I think you're. You've got a lot of boosts. You're done. You've you've maxed out. That's it. You don't even level up anymore. You know the others can all
it's
level up.
That's a lie.
She's no, you can level up. You get you've got the most boosts so far, I think. Not only did you upgrade your armor, and I think you're the only person that upgraded armor and weapons and things. But you got your Saiyan ability now. You came back stronger. There when you almost died last time.
I think the rest of us didn't upgrade our armor because we didn't have the money.
Yeah, the money's
So-
gone. It was all spent on Aura because Aura's.
Yeah, it was all spent on Aura so that way
No.
she could take a hit. It was. It really was.
We had $1 billion from the Pyre Hearts that you murdered. So, I mean, we might have had
We
some
had
extra
$1 billion
gold bars.
until someone, Bobo, decided to give it away to
Did
other
give a
people.
lot of it away. Did give a
That's
lot
good
of it away.
though. I think that was good.
Damn it, Bobo! I could have upgraded my I don't know what, but something.
We got a new haircut.
I got a new haircut.
Yeah. You also got Chronomancy, so that's another. You got a lot of stuff going on already.
I'm unstoppable now. Nothing can stop me.
You should be. I swear to God. I was talking. I
Nothing.
think it was just on my stream casually the other day about how like if you die now, you're just dead because I can't do anything more to keep
Survival
you
of the
alive.
fittest at this point.
Exactly. I can't do it. I can't do any more. The rest of you though, pretty normal. Pretty normal. Actually, I guess Ellie got some changes, but we don't know what they are yet, and I'm not going to reveal them. Suuna
I
got
now like steak.
one change. Yep, that's
I
right.
like steak more.
She likes blood, fresh blood from the neck of victims.
No, that's Bobo.
Oh right, wait. Okay. Bobo's
That's
the
Bobo.
Right, Bobo. Imagine if we revealed that Bobo was a vampire all along. That's why I needed the sunglasses and stuff. Like,
That's
yeah,
how I know.
That's what it is. He's a 1,000-year-old vampire.
But I wear them. So it really was him depicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though that was a demon. Vampires aren't demons, okay? Actually. Speaking of actually, the web spell.
I was gonna say I had to change. I got nerfed.
Suuna, you didn't get nerfed, but luckily your character has some stuff that goes with strange memory.
Oh, you should spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Memory things.
Let them figure it out.
All right.
Don't spoil it.
Well, you okay? Doesn't got the web spell anymore.
Or spoil it.
I will never, ever allow the web spell. There are only 2 things that are disallowed in my D&D campaigns. 2.5, because wish is also a thing that I probably wouldn't deal with as a spell. The lucky feat can fuck off. And now the web spell.
I asked for lucky.
No longer canonically exists. I've never allowed lucky since the first thing I ran. Yeah, that's going to be that will be the next thing. Polymorph. Here's my new rule on polymorph, because I had a group that just beat the penultimate super boss of one of my campaigns by just polymorphing themselves into a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And just I was like, "What are you doing?"
That's actually really smart, though.
They were like, "I polymorph into a T-Rex," and then you get the stats of a T-Rex, and it's just unbelievably strong.
But they surprised you.
Yeah, they did, and it was fun, and I allowed it. But then I was like, damn it, you need to have seen the thing to be able to polymorph into it. And I was like, when the fuck did you see a T-Rex, you know? And that could have been my excuse, god damn.
At the museum, obviously.
Polymorph always makes an appearance in the final battles of my campaigns for some reason. Like, no one uses it, and then they're like, haha, GM, I polymorph the big bad evil guy into a rat. Fuck. What the fuck? Fuck you. Right. DB. Ruining the whole fucking thing. I'll get my own back one day. One of these days.
That wasn't me. I didn't.
It was you. You count. You were in that group. And.
Oh, okay. So because I was next to the person who committed the crime, I should be persecuted as well.
You've been to my stream. That's exactly how.
Yeah, I was. That's the joke I was gonna make.
I've totally subscribed
you're
to
in
that.
My brain now.
Or the whole class gets punished for the naughty kids thing. I think that's the best. That's the best. Okay. Well, here we are once again with the super-powered Aura and her friends. At Aura's house, almost. In Aura's back garden. In Alexandria. Are you guys ready to continue? Because we can continue right now. I'll give you a little recap of what happened last time. You guys, what's the beginning of the episode? Oh, it was Undead Ellie coming back from the dead. The thing formerly known as Ellie returned to a form of life, I guess.
I'm still a woman, please, Brad.
The horrific creature formerly known as Ellie was returned to an undead state. She's alive-ish, but it seems that whatever's going on with her has changed her in some way. And from a mechanical perspective, she's undead. From in the game, there are things that seem to be aware that she's undead. Yet she's still able to move around and be there and look like she's alive and think and stuff like that. You guys kind of got over it pretty quickly. It's been a crazy journey so far, and this is middle of the road really. One of you's just an undead now. Sure. Next, you went to town and bought some armor. The armor was made specifically for Aura by somebody called Klex. And it was made with friendship.
And love.
And so, picking that up and spending a bunch of your gold bars and coins and things, you guys headed out of town with Alvin, the gnome, in tow, and began heading towards the lake outside of Beim village, where you believe Suuna's mother to be, which is who you're really your only quest clue as to what to do after you you pretty much came to the decision to bail out from the Dying Order race, the Ahi, that divine creature thing, whatever it is, was floating around and telling you what to do, and you were in a race. You bailed out because Future Aura told you to, and also told you to go and see Suuna's mother. So that's really your goal, and you finally set out to do that. You walked out into the snow. It's still snowing. There's snow everywhere, and you encountered some ogres. There were 4 of them. They tried to kill and eat Ellie, believing her to be a vampire, and they were just starved. There's no food anywhere, and the ogres are feeling it just as bad as anyone else, if not more. And so they set about trying to get you, but you managed to defeat them, and pretty much that's where we ended after you had killed all 4 of these ogres. So we return once again to the sort of snowscape outside of Beim village, and it's just a pretty large and endless flat plains with some rolling hills to a degree of snow. Along one side, along the north side of you, there are trees that head up towards mountains that are in the distance, but this storm is it's pretty heavy. It's not crazy, but there's a decent snowfall coming down. You guys are not like lost, but Aura is kind of unsure as to how far or how close you are to the lake, which is your destination here. You kind of know where to go, and you definitely aren't lost in the sense that you could easily double back and go back to the village if you needed to. You kind of have a decent idea of which way is west, which is generally your bearing, because of the mountainscape and the forest always being on your north. But you don't know like exactly. Like on any usual day, probably without the snow, I would imagine Aura could very quickly find her bearings and work out roughly where she is. 1 hour away from here, 2 hours away from there. But you're a little lost as it sits right now. 4 dead ogres around you. Practically inedible is the decision that you came to. And yeah, what do you guys want to do?
How's everybody feeling?
They smell awful. I can see now why you said we shouldn't eat them.
Yeah, they've got a stank to them.
Oh, yes.
I still smell like them. Yeah.
I don't smell anything.
I guarantee you, though, it does smell pretty bad.
Well, I don't need to eat. I don't need to eat this, so I'm not really hungry. Is anybody hungry? You guys want?
No, we ain't touching that mess.
No.
No. I don't mean no. Are you just hungry in general? I mean, you don't need to eat them. That would not be. I would not advise that. You might get sick.
Maybe we should take our little rest. We could start a fire and then get our bearings.
Maybe that's a good idea.
Can I do a perception check? Is there anything like that would resemble any sort of shelter-ish environment?
Yeah, sure. You all can if you want.
Okay.
Is there anything around here that maybe we could could rest or
I am now blind.
shelter here?
Suuna, where you are isn't too bad. It's the area where the ogres set up camp. On the other side of this there's like a pretty large kind of boulder that is covered in like moss and grass, but underneath a layer of stone. There's a few trees around it which have started to wither in the cold. But where the ogres were sat, the wind is blowing to the west, so you can kind of get some sort of a windbreak from the giant rock and maybe rest behind that. Other than that, you could push in north up into the forest a little bit and get some cover from the trees, but the forest is a little dodgy. Alvin has expressed several times along the way that the forest is a little more dangerous than being out in the plains, even though he likes to be in the forest as opposed to the plains because of the orcs. Technically, the animals are more dangerous. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much just a plain, so there's not really anywhere very good. Even sitting here under this rock for a rest isn't going to be very comfortable for very long. Ellie, you're convinced that if you guys stop here, everyone, probably except for you, because you're already dead, will die. Worst place to stop ever.
Well, here looks fairly decent. I
Does
mean,
anybody have like a piece of fabric? I could use this whip and we could like jerry rig something to block the wind.
well,
It's gonna work. I mean, this isn't necessary. We just.
I have a blanket. I have a winter blanket.
But we
In
could just
my-
make something to block the wind, and then we could all just sit for a little bit around a fire, warm up, and figure out where to go.
That sounds nice.
I mean, we're kind of. We just killed how many trolls? How are we certain that
4,
not,
maybe? 1, 2.
Are we certain that not more are gonna appear though?
4.
Like this doesn't seem very safe right here.
Brad, do I know if they live in packs?
Give me a nature or a survival check.
Okay. Nate.
They usually move around in like little groups of 2 to 4, but
How many did we kill? They're
it's-
not on the
it's-
screen anymore. I can't remember. It was 5, right?
It was 4. There's
Oh, okay, 4.
pretty there's not very it's not like a guarantee. You can find, like 10 of them. You can find one of them with a whole band of orcs, that kind of thing. But yeah, even on an 8, by the way, that's a pass for general knowledge on ogres, because they're pretty common.
Well, usually there's about this many in a big group, but sometimes they make friends, and I mean, I guess we could take one of their heads and put it on a stick, and it's like a warning.
Oh, good lord.
Oh my god.
What
One
do
of the
that?
big rounds
I'll do
is
it.
a way of
And
cutting
I walk
flames.
to the nearest ogre and I start chopping.
Oh! I mean, it
Oh,
was
God.
okay. That's just I'll get a stick, and I'm gonna go get a stick from a tree
Yep.
and whittle like the end into a spike so she can just, or on both sides, so we
I
can
like
stick it in the
move
ground. And,
my mask up a little bit. Like, oh, I think I actually can smell. So yeah,
You can do this, yes. She comes over with a
just holding it.
lad pike, yeah.
That's just horrifying.
That's
Well,
terrible.
you don't want to kiss it, Bo. And I hold it up to his face.
No, I ain't kissing that.
Okay, well, it's kind of cute when it's dead, you know?
I can't
No.
tell if being dead has made you more barbaric or if you were always this way.
I'm not going to answer that. And I go and, okay, you got to place the pike in the ground, and then I'll put it on.
I don't know how she finds that cute.
Me either. Well, I guess I'll start a fire.
All right, give me a survival check.
Seven.
I would say in this environment, that's a fail. It's real hard
Alright.
to do. First of all, you don't really have any dry wood. All of the wood around here is snow covered. There's a pretty rough wind going. I don't think it's easy to make a fire at all, and you'd spend a little while struggling. By the time you're finished, Ellie and Aura are like dusting their hands, and there's a pike just outside of where you're setting up camp here with what looks like would look to us like a giant blobfish stuck on top of it at a
I
weird
love
angle
blobfishes.
as it's come down. One of its eyes is like really far one side of the pike, the other one on the other side. Its tongue is like hanging down out of its mouth, and then there's just gore hanging down from its considerable neck on the pike. You've done it. There is a disgusting message to all further ogres in the area.
that makes us look tough, right? Like, oh,
I
don't mess with
guess.
them. There's bodies everywhere and a head on us. Like,
That is going to piss him off. I don't know. One or the other. We'll see.
Yeah, I could go either way.
I would turn around if I saw that.
Yeah,
Oh.
if anything, if it pisses off the ogres, at least it'll like scare away probably anyone else. Plus all these dead bodies that seem to be still lying around. So
I'll see that Suuna is having trouble getting the fire started. Can I try to see if I can help?
Yeah, give me a survival check.
14.
I seem to be having a little bit of trouble here.
The wind and the wood's wet. A lot of things.
You're between the two of you. You're successful. Maybe Alvin helps out, and you find some sticks. You find some dry wood underneath one of these trees, and you're able to make a small fire. And it's not an impressive display. It's not going to be a big fire. It's kind of hard to find some of the wood around that you need. Maybe laying some of them around the edge of this small fire here. In time, they'll probably dry out, but depending on how long you're planning on staying here, you get a small fire going. It's nothing wild. It doesn't really produce a lot of heat, but yeah, you got one going.
Oh, thank heavens. Like, I walk towards the fire and I raise my bum over it and I start clasping my hands, just enjoying the heat. Oh, yes.
Brad, how does cold versus warmth affect me?
I don't think you feel that, right? Hang on, let's see. What was the
I feel
rules?
like actual fire, I'd maybe feel a little bit.
Right, I think you can
If I
feel.
were on fire,
I think you
I
can
would
feel
feel it.
pain, and you still take damage from fire. But I don't know if it does the same thing to you as it did in life. In that
Yeah.
when you put your hand near fire, it completely warms you up. I'd say you can probably sense it though. You can feel it. It's just maybe
I
like
don't necessarily need it, right?
Oh, you don't need it. No, you can
Okay.
probably stand in this cold, and you might eventually technically freeze and die from just being stood in this thing and you dying, becoming a frozen icicle person. Yeah, maybe you feel a very dulled version of heat, I would say. You don't really sense the cold at all, but maybe you can feel some, again, dulled version of heat. Not much.
Yeah, I would die until I get thawed, right?
Right, yeah, I mean, yeah, potentially. I think, well, the thing is, you can still take damage. Like, your flesh
Yeah.
and bones can die. We don't know, but potentially you can, freeze and die.
Yeah.
I don't think you know. I'm not even sure I know until we cross that bridge. But,
I feel like at first I would stand out in the cold, then I'd see everyone huddled around the fire trying to get warm, and I'd be like, all right, I gotta pretend like I'm normal.
yeah.
And I'd go sit by Bo.
I mean, should we stay here longer than just a short time? Like, take a nap?
I don't know, how you guys feeling?
I'm pretty out.
I can keep watch. I don't need to sleep.
Well, so can I. I just need to sit for a minute. Doesn't need to be
Yeah.
a long time. I just relaxing for a bit until we have been walking all day, and then, the ogre situation.
I'll let Alvin can sleep next to me if he wants. I mean, I'm gonna protect him. He healed me, so I owe him.
I'm not
I look at
tired.
Alvin.
It's okay. I take a watch as well.
I think you should sleep. I think we all should sleep. Well,
Okay,
except
I
for
don't need to sleep yet.
Yeah, it's midday.
I think Alvin's too scared to sleep anyway.
That's a good point.
probably right.
I might be as well.
Do I hear you, Suuna?
I was whispering. I don't know if you hear me or
I
not.
thought he was whispering because I'm sitting next to Bobo. I thought he was talking to me.
Mm. Even if he
Um,
was, I probably whisper back to Bobo. I wasn't saying that out loud, but
I don't. I completely miss it. Like, I don't think you're talking about me. I'm just like, yeah. I guess if ogres attack, that would be kind of scary, huh?
yes, ogres are what's scary here.
Yep.
I look over
Kinda-
to the spiked head of the ogre.
If Alvin's like sitting or close to me, I'm just gonna kind of drag him over towards me.
Yeah, he's probably hiding behind you as soon as every
Okay.
time Ellie speaks to him.
Then I'm gonna grab if I have an extra coat or blanket or something, or use the rest, or use my overcoat and kind of wrap it around him, because I know they're all like, I know Ellie's probably kind of joking, but I feel very protective about Alvin, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep him close.
Yeah, he sits with you.
Oh, I
and-
was being
and
completely serious. I owe him. He healed me, so I was being serious.
He's just sitting next to you, I think, as all of you are sitting around. He's got his hands up to the fire as well. He keeps an eye on Ellie, but yeah, you guys had a moment last week where I think he seems a little less like, he's not like constantly freaking out and wide-eyed fear staring at Ellie. He says,
Well, if you guys don't want to long rest, then I say, we'll rest here for a little bit and then keep on going,
he throws some food at everyone but Ellie. Just like, it'd probably be like something like fruit and nuts or something like that. He just offers everyone some.
I found some of this. There's not much left of it.
I like look and I
Oh,
see
thank
that there's
you.
nothing before me, and I'm like, yo, Alvin, where's mine?
Oh, I don't think that I have any blood.
No, I don't. We already been over. I don't drink blood. We've already been.
This is Brazil nuts. You're gonna break your teeth. You need them.
What do you think my teeth are suddenly made of glass? Like, no, I don't. Oh my god.
But
You
if
know
you
what?
use your teeth, you're not gonna be able to.
You know what? Fuck all y'all. Okay.
The neck.
How are we going to find our bearings?
Brad, do I notice? Can you do a perception check to see if I recognize something now that we've
me
been
a-
here a while?
Survival check for that.
Okay. I have a 10.
10's enough. Suuna, you've never been here before, right?
Right.
So you definitely know which way west is, and that's probably about really all you can do a check for. You can.
Or if we've been here before, like if we're backtracking
Oh right, no, you haven't gone round in circles.
with my map. Okay.
No, you guys have still been. You've still been heading in your direction. You're not lost in the sense that you're done for. You'll never make it. You're just lost in more of the sense that you're not sure exactly where you are along the Oregon Trail here. You're pretty sure, Aura, that you're actually closer rather than further away from the lake. I think is probably what you get the sensation of. You're probably over the halfway mark in terms of your journey. And just continuing west, eventually you're gonna. The thing with the lake is that it sits at the very bottom of the forest. So if you follow the tree line across forever, even though it kind of goes up and down, and it can, if you just followed the tree line, it would be a really slow route as opposed to walking in a straight line. You would eventually just find the lake as long as you keep the tree line within your eyesight. Even if you get lost a little bit, as long as you stay on a bearing of west, you'll find the river, and then you can walk north along the river to the lake. So you can't truly get super lost. I mean, you can if you really fuck it up. But I'd say you don't know exactly where you are specifically. But looking around, maybe judging something based on the mountainside, you get the sense that you're closer to. You're not too far away, really, from the lake. Maybe another half-hour trek.
Okay.
Dead west.
Would Alvin know where we
Alvin
are?
on a 7 doesn't know. He's
Oh, okay.
looking around. I've been rolling when you guys are rolling, and he's looking around.
Okay.
And he's sort of.
I don't know if that, but maybe that in there is where we saw.
I think if we hug the mountain. Remember when we hugged the mountain that one time and then the lake was at the bottom there?
Yes.
I think we have to do that.
I think that's where he is.
Yeah. It was that long way and then we got lost and the picnic was ruined.
But if it's not, then it's gonna take us twice as long to get there.
At least we'd get there.
It's cold.
I know. But we could start that way and then if we look again and figure out that this is not the way to go, we can change course.
Okay. Guess so.
I was saying it loud enough so like everybody could kind of hear and pointing where we would need to go. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds great to me. I'm ready whenever the rest of you
See,
are.
I don't want to stay out here. Whew.
Yeah, same.
But it's a little bit chilly.
Okay. Let's go then.
All
You
right.
guys, you can take the benefits of a short rest, which means you can use hit dice if you want to roll a hit dice to regain some of your HP you might have lost, and any spells or abilities that you get back on a short rest return. So yeah, you can do that now if you want. Wow. Wait, that's a D4. You shouldn't have a D4. Hang on, I rolled
It's
character for a thing the other day and it's wrong. Hold on.
Okay.
How do you do this thing again? Because the sheets are different. Or Roll20 updated something and it messed with the things. Wait, you should have a D10. Ranger? D10, I think? How doesn't that work then? Aha, there it is. Alright, roll it again.
okay. All right.
I'll go into each of your sheets real quick and check.
Okay.
What does a rogue get? Oh, hold on. D8. You see where it's got the bracket that says D4? You can change it.
Oh,
But
I
I've
did.
changed it.
Oh, I already rolled it. Can I just keep?
Yeah,
Oh, never
just
mind.
re-roll any. I don't mind. Let me just check what Bo's got. He's a bard, which is a D8 as well. 3. Where you got 3? You should have more. You should have 4 hit die. Bo. And Suuna.
Mine's
You done it?
D6.
You did it?
Yep.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So re-roll your hit dice. It should be correct this time. You can regain that HP. And
Did you get a 1 a second time?
Yeah, Alvin. If you got a 1 for a second time, there's no
I
hope.
did the second time I rolled. I got a 1 on my D10.
What the fuck?
Got a 9 the second time.
There's just no hope for you. Like, I don't know what to tell you at this point, but
This is fine.
yeah,
It's okay. I've been rolling
It's
a lot
that
of ones.
whip you're carrying
the last-
around. It's cursed. It's cursed.
it's quite cursed.
Oh.
Well, you can roll multiples, by the way. Oh, you did. Okay. All right. So everyone's finished with their hit die, and yeah, you guys, you have a short rest. Maybe eat a little bit of food, sit by that fire. The fire doesn't do a lot. Sitting still is probably worse than moving, but at least you grab a bit of food, drink a little water, and then kick some snow over the fire and begin again moving towards the lake. So this time, let's see. Who was doing what? It was Alvin and Ellie that were scouting. So give me perception checks, and then Aura, Bo, give me survival checks, and Suuna doesn't need to do nothing. Doesn't need to do nothing. Wow, Aura. Amazing. Okay. Bo, on a 14. You can replenish everyone's water stores.
Fantastic.
That's about it. I think maybe you collect some clean looking snow, and as you're going along, you just let it melt in a water skin, and then throw it at one of your comrades, one by one, replenishing everyone's water skins. Aura 5 is actually all you need to follow the tree line. Like it's like that's just really, I think, all you guys are doing. You're just following Aura, who's heading, staying relatively close within eyeshot of the tree line here, and continuing to head west. With Alvin helping you scout, Ellie, you guys find nothing. You don't encounter anything. You sense that maybe the forest to your north would indeed be more dangerous. Any animals and creatures or beasts that are out there would probably not be in these snowfields with this strange weather that's come in. So heading too close to the forest would be a bad idea. You don't really notice anything. There are no roaming packs of orcs or no more ogres following you guys or anything like that. And between you and Alvin, yeah, you guys don't see anything. There's there's no wildlife, and it's uncomfortable. Like, there's not even birds flying around for the most part. It's very, very rare that you'll sight an animal. One or two birds in the distance, but almost nothing. It seems like most of the animals have gone into a strange early hibernation, or the birds are starting to fly south to nowhere, really, because it's just not something that they usually have to do here. And it's really messed up the ecosystem a little bit, having the snow suddenly fall in the sort of late summer. You guys, I think, probably walk for about probably about 45 minutes to an hour. It starts to get pretty chilly, starts to get pretty maybe a little tiring after you've been walking and fighting and then walking some more, and you're sort of taking a longer route. You can feel that you guys aren't doing like a straight shot through the snow here, and this snow is coming down around you. Your clothes by now would be just wet. It's not the type of snow that does that Arctic thing where it freezes on you. I think it's making your clothes quite wet, and your beard bows probably covered in snow, and your hair's all wet, each of you. And unless you have something like leathers on, you're probably pretty much wet through. Your feet would be frozen. You probably can't feel your toes. When in the distance, let's see who rolled the highest. Alvin points out,
Hey, look! What is that?
Ellie, he's probably talking to you, actually. Both of you are probably scouting ahead a little bit. And you can see that there's a structure ahead of you. And it takes a moment for your eyes to adjust through the snowstorm, but you can see now that there is what appears to be a structure that isn't touched by the snow. You can see what looks like a very small cottage. And as you guys walk forward a little more, and Alvin ushers the rest of you to catch up with Ellie and him, you see this this tiny little cottage, and not a big structure at all. It just looks it stands out against the whiteness of the snow around you. You can see like brick and vines, like red brick, vines running up it that are like green, like this is a summer's day. And you can see with the wind blowing away from you, but as you get closer, you can see now that there's a chimney which is puffing red smoke up into the air, and bright red as well, like primary red. You can see as you get a little closer that this thing is actually sitting upon a frozen lake, and the lake's pretty large. I don't think you can really see the other side. This thing sits maybe about 40 feet away from where snow turns to frozen ice. And a glistening, glittering blue lake spreads out now. Pretty much, I think, probably for your eyesight isn't too great here because of the snowstorm, but it spreads out pretty much entirely across your western and southern view. And there's just this cottage sat on the middle of this ice. It looks bizarre. It doesn't look like it should be there. It doesn't look like it could possibly have even been built there. It's sitting outside of the snow. There's no snow settling on it. It looks like it should be falling through. Whoever built this must have built it within the last week, because this was a lake a week ago and not frozen over. You can see that there are curtains which are drawn across the circular windows, and that the front door is closed. What do you guys do?
Well, that's very much Mum, so.
But that's your mom's house?
I mean, probably. I think it's safe to assume. Brad, does this look like the cottage that I saw in that vision with Pops? In that wrapped?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to assume that this is hers. She always did like greenery. Well, shall we?
I think we should. So it's on the ice, Brad, in the middle of the lake?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to walk?
I'm gonna test the lake to see if the ice is thick enough to even walk on.
Yeah, give me a
Survival?
No, give me an acrobatics check. Something that uses Dex.
23.
23. Yeah, I think you place a boot onto the ice. You maybe test it a little, then maybe allow some more of your weight to fall onto the ice, and then probably allow an entire foot, and allow your entire weight onto the foot on the ice. And it seems to completely support you. There isn't like a terrifying cracking noise or anything like that. It seems pretty damn solid. It feels the same as if you had your boot on stone, although maybe a little more slippy.
I imagine there's a lot of snow on it too, right?
There's some snow.
Might make it a little less slick.
Alvin is kind of looking at you, waiting for you to fall through, and he says,
What happens if we fall into the lake?
Well, we freeze to death.
Oh,
Well, okay, that's a bit traumatic. We would pull one of each other out. Chances are we're not all going to fall through all
Well,
at
you
once.
guys might freeze to death. I just gotta get thawed, you know?
Is that
Is
a
your
joke?
mom a hefty woman, or is she muscular?
What?
Well, like, I mean, if she was walking across the ice, is she small?
Are you asking if my mother is fat?
I just,
Yeah, what do you... I don't understand.
She's asking if my mother is fat, rotund, big.
I wave Alvin and Bobo on, like, come on, let's go.
can we get on it? Should
I
we
mean,
go
I
one
just,
at a
it
time?
helps.
Everything?
Well, okay,
Yeah,
I'll
let's just go single file along the. It's fine. I'll
space
go
out a few
first.
feet. That way, if someone falls through, you got a few feet to go, and we can try to pull them out. I'll go first, and you guys follow in whatever order. But yeah, let's just try this.
Okay.
All right.
what's the marching order?
I go first.
Oh, I will. Whenever I wait, whatever goes before me can go before me, but
How
I'll
much
follow.
space are you leaving between each person before?
A full person
Okay.
I
Someone
would
who
say
has-
that.
lived around a lake. Trust me.
I would say that if Alvin is behind me, I would like keep like trying to get him to stay like I'd say about 3 feet behind me.
He's walking like with his arms out like a toddler. And like really, like he's walking along a wall, like he's just doing it really carefully. It looks like he's trying to step in exactly where your feet were.
And I'm walking like I'm stealthing in shadows, but I'm literally just walking across the lake very carefully.
Mm-hmm. So, who's next? Maybe 10 feet after that. Oh, steps
I'll
out
go
onto
next.
the lake. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it seems fine. It seems
I
to
can't say I'm as graceful. I'm slipping and sliding here and there, and I ain't so good. Balance ain't my forte.
It seems to be fine. Who's next?
I mean,
Suuna.
Aura, would you like to go in front?
No, I'll bring up the rear.
Okay, all right. I'm just going to gingerly walk across the ice, but I am using my walking stick to poke in front of me.
Yeah.
Probably
Again, it
not a
seems
good idea, but
pretty darn solid here.
oh, but this is solid.
I don't
This
think
is
you can even see water
absurd.
really rushing underneath it or anything like that. It looks like solid ice.
Look at that, Aura. Solid as brick.
That's good. I mean, I wasn't trying to be offensive. I was just wondering if it would help. You know,
Oh, you didn't offend me.
I look like I'm starting to say something, and I decide not to.
Step onto the ice. Yeah, I think by the time Aura steps onto the ice, Ellie, you get to the cottage, and as far as you can tell, it seems to be pretty real. There's a little bit of snow that falls almost all the way up to where the first brick is on the ice, but it still seems very strange. Once you get close enough to it and the others start single file walking across the ice, and you can kind of see this thing up close, it looks very, very real, but there's just an odd sensation that comes off
Can I
of
do
it.
a stealth check? Can I stealth?
Yeah, what are you trying to hide behind?
I'm trying to
from.
hide like against the cottage, and I want to look in the windows.
Yeah, sure. The as soon as you're near it, though, you just get a sensation that this is no ordinary cottage. If you hadn't already put two and two together, it seems just different and strange. And you can see the snow falling near where it is, but it never settles onto the roof. Yeah, you get all the way up to one of the windows. Maybe look around the side, and you can see a different window. The curtains are pulled. on all of them. The curtains inside look like they're like a really dark red. And there's for sure like lamps or torches on inside. You can see that there's a light glow coming through the curtains, or maybe at the edges of them you can see some light spilling out, but pretty much you can't see anything inside before Alvin appears behind you, and then Bo, then Suuna, you get close enough to the cottage, and lastly, Aura, you walk up, and you all end up standing in front of what is a pretty small door. I think the door is probably only about 5 feet tall. It looks like the type of door that you might find on a somebody from the small folk, like a halfling or someone who has a cottage of their own or somewhere that the small folk would live in. But other than that, I don't think you really see anything going on. There's the sense of a magic here going on, and that's about it. Little door in front of you, wooden handle. That's it. No window on the door.
I check for traps on the door.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Or do we just knock?
I'm just checking for traps because last time I stole or opened something I shouldn't have, I got a curse. So
you rolled performance, so I think you probably do a nice little dance.
I do. My bad. Well, that's not much better. So
no traps. Looks very
okay.
Normal. It just seems completely like just a normal little house that you would find anywhere in a smaller village somewhere.
I do like a John Belushi to get to it, and it's just so obvious. And then I check for traps.
Yeah.
So,
you can see Ellie kind of looking around the edges of the door. She's maybe like, she brings like the edge of a dagger up to underneath where the awning is, and she starts running it along the thing. But it just doesn't, nothing happens. You can hear you can feel the knife scraping along the brick and stuff like that.
I bang on the door. I just like straight up, I don't knock, I like bang on it.
As soon as you bang once, the thing just swings open. And you get hit by like a wave of warmth pretty quickly, I think. Each of you that's standing outside would very quickly feel this warmth. There's a rush of warmth that runs across each of you. Alvin kind of lets out like a and you look inside and you can see what looks like a home, just like a little cottage, a little home. You get a scent that hits you of incense and what might be lemons. There's an instant sort of open plan room with like cushions and pillows around a low table. To one side there is boxes full of what just looks like junk and amassed things. There's scrolls. There are hanging lanterns from the roof, different types of lanterns, like they might have been collected over many years. There's a small tea set on the table with a little stove, like a tiny little miniature stove with a little flame underneath that seems to be keeping the kettle in the center boiling. To the right of the door, just on the inside, is a small kitchenette with a little stove and oven. You guys probably quickly see what looks like a large cake sitting on the kitchenette. And there's a third room. It looks like it's in the back, directly across from where you are standing, with like a hidden doorway behind it. And in the doorway there is a young woman standing there. She's not particularly obese, Aura. Not at all. She looks about maybe even a little smaller than Ellie, who from your description is quite thin, quite slight, and she's a pretty young looking person, like maybe in her 20s. Some similarities quite quickly that stand out to Suuna, but she's much younger. And she's wrapped in a thin red shawl, similar to kind of what Suuna wears. Her attire is very similar to a lot of the clothing that you guys saw in Dustvale. She looks a little to the other three here, like some of the sort of traveling gypsy folk that you might find in Alexandria that move in caravans from town to town, usually selling things or putting on small shows. Even in the cold of the outside, there's actually quite a decent sense of warmth that comes out. She has these like large brown eyes that seem warm and welcoming. She kind of opens her arms pretty quickly and ushers each of you in. Do you guys go in straight away?
Perfect timing. It's very cold out here.
So
I go in
you
last.
told me you had a little sister.
No, this is my mother.
Wait, this is your mom?
Yes.
Mom!
Okay, go, come in.
As you guys each step inside, Alvin kind of looks around and kicks his boots off. And the woman from across the room, kind of leaning in a doorway, she sees everyone and she opens her arms as you step in, but she's kind of watching you, Suuna, more than anyone else. As everybody steps in, she says, "Welcome in. I am Yelatra, or you can call me Mother Numera." To the rest of you, but she's looking at Suuna when you guys each step in. She stands up from the doorway. She looks you up and down a little bit, Suuna, almost as if she hasn't seen you for a long time, and she's taking in the differences in how you look and checking you over. She kind of walks a little closer towards the kitchen and points at the cake and says to you, Suuna, "Get your friend some lemon cake, and there is tea there."
Yes, of course, Mum.
I will see each of you in my parlor before we palaver. Tiefling, then the elves. Ladies first. Of course, Mr. Bobo. You understand?
Oh, she means you first.
Or how big of a slice would you like?
Like a normal
really
normal slice.
good.
Yeah, I'll do like a normal slice.
Okay, how about I give you a normal extra? Just a little. It's really good.
Okay, I haven't had a cake in a while.
Yes.
Wait,
I
are we
kinda look
going in one by
bewildered.
one?
Hang on, everyone spoke at once. What?
Are we going in one by one with your mom?
Yes.
Well, I
Oh.
mean, Bobo, if you want me to hold your hand, I can.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm just
you're not.
fixing myself up, inspecting my breath. Okay.
She crosses her arms and doesn't really take her eyes off of you, Suuna. She looks away after you kind
Well,
of
I'm
move
getting
in.
cake.
After
so-
you move into the kitchenette and there's a little
Yeah.
knife and you start to cut up pieces of cake, she
I have a
watches you
question.
again.
Is, is everything like? I'm assuming this is her tiny hut, and I'm familiar with the, what's inside.
Roll me a d20.
Two.
Nope. You have almost
right.
no memory of being here, yet
All
there
right.
is some familiarity to the place. Although everything is kind of laid out in the sense that there's a cake there that's pretty big, honestly. Like it's like a birthday cake size cake, a lemon sponge cake with lemon drizzle on it. It's extremely.
Is it a birthday cake? Is it like a?
I don't think you know what it is. It's just a lemon
right.
cake. It is big. And it also looks like it couldn't possibly have been made in the oven that she has here. But that doesn't really necessarily mean anything. Your mother has a lot of tricks. And but there's a few sets of dishes, small little plates and things. Some forks, spoons, and a big knife to cut the cake with. And as soon as you go over there and you take the knife and start cutting in, she looks you over again. She squints a little bit at you while you go to cut the cake, and then she turns around. By the way, she seems like very nonchalant about you guys being there. Like, if you guys had gone here every day for years, that's how she's acting, kind of thing. Like, as if you guys probably feel really awkward. Like, you're probably standing in the doorway huddled like kids that just got home from school, and she's just acting as if you guys are here all the time. She just seems very relaxed around you. She points at you, Bo, and says, "Very well. You first. Come with me." And she walks into the room at the back through some of those beads that sometimes sit in front of parlor doors. That being said, it just looks like a wall of black, like magical darkness beyond the beads.
Oh, well, before I go and I poof up my shawl, and I'm like, how do I look? I turn to the girls, asking for their opinion.
You kind of look half-assed.
I think you look nice, Bo.
I think you
Thank
look
you.
very charming, Bo.
Thank you, Aura, Suuna, Ellie. I'll be seeing you girls in a bit.
Would you like some cake first, or?
Oh, save me a slice.
Oh, will do.
All right.
Lemon.
So, Bo, you walk in? Yeah.
Yes.
Bo kind of pushes past those beads and heads into this this other room. And there's no sound coming from the other room or anything like that. He just seems to go, leaving you four, including Alvin, in the other room. Alvin walks over towards where you are, Suuna, and says,
That's your mother, is it?
Yes.
Where is it?
That's right.
At?
and he looks over at Aura.
You look different.
Older.
Yes. Is
I
that
have
a
some
Madrox?
questions.
Well, my mother is very special.
Okay.
I look like I have a lot of questions I want to ask, and I start to ask them, and then I stop myself because they might come across as offensive.
And here's your slice of cake, Alvin and Aura, and
Thank you.
some tea.
Okay, you sit down over here then.
He finds like a little nook. Like again, this place is there's like cushions and there's no like sofa. You know, there's no like chairs even. It's just stuff on the ground, cushions and blankets and things like that. And he probably finds a corner and sits down. He sits cross-legged and smells the cake and starts to look it over, and then he tucks in.
That's very nice.
Oh, the cake. Did you try it already?
It's all gone.
Oh. Would you like another slice, Alvin?
I think I'm gonna
He looks over at Ellie.
go to sleep.
All right.
I feel very sleepy.
All right. Would you like a blanket?
I just sleep now.
He leans
I
against
walk
the
up and
side
I
of
put
the.
I walk up and I put my cloak over him.
He's like already asleep. Like he leans against the wall, and he falls immediately into an odd and instant sleep.
I still put my cloak over him
Mm-hmm.
and sit next to him.
Can I turn away from them and sniff the cake? Did she put something in the fucking cake?
Give me a guess, an investigation. Wait, if you're sniffing it, I guess it's just a perception check.
Yeah. 8.
An 8. You don't know.
All right.
You
I'll
know,
say this though, she doesn't do that kind of thing often.
All right.
She uses all sorts of fucking things to like, oh, this one calms you down, and this one's for, you know, arthritis, and this is for, headaches.
I would like to do some sort. I don't know if it'd be investigation or perception, but he just like suddenly fell asleep, and that would give me flashbacks to when I suddenly fell asleep, like 2 days ago.
Do a PTSD check.
Yeah. Is there a PTSD? I would like to do that.
You can do an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be 18.
I think probably all of you start to feel a little sleepy.
Even though I haven't eaten anything.
I haven't.
No, you haven't eaten anything, and you just feel a little, for all intents and purposes, a little high, a little stoned, a little woo-ha, a little floaty light in here. It's not necessarily that you're like falling asleep. You're just a little from just being in here. And yeah, Suuna, Ellie, Aura, probably relatively aware that the incense is pretty pretty heavy.
Can I put it out?
You don't know where it is. Give me
shit.
investigation or perception checks to look around.
Okay.
You can smell it. You don't know where it is. 16. Anyone else want to look around for it?
Well,
I'll look around.
personally, my bones and muscles ache daily, so I don't care to find it. It's great.
19, and you don't care.
No.
Ellie and Aura,
I'll take it.
You successfully don't find it. And what I mean by that is that it's not. There's no incense stick burning in here. There's no like weird sort of device that's giving off a strange gas or anything like that. The place itself just seems to be perforating this scent. It's not knocking you out. It's not sleeping gas at all. It seems to have just been exceptionally
Is it like
effective.
lavender incense? Because that shit is relaxing.
I would say
exactly
the tea
what
is
it is.
lavender for
There you
sure,
go.
because
Oh, yeah.
lavender and lemon. Mwah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
good.
you like lay back and you're like, man, this is great.
Yes.
I think it's just
Lavender's
relaxing
great for
and
depression too.
it's
Okay.
relaxing and
In case you
warming.
didn't know that.
It doesn't mess you up. It doesn't make you feel, crazy or different or anything. It's just that there is an instant calming effect that happens by being in here, and it's almost certainly the incense smell that seems to be doing it. But what it is beyond something that you guys on your investigation checks are really too sure. The gnome is like in a deep sleep and he looks quite happy. And also you guys are warming up quite well, including you, Ellie. In here it's quite warm and you can feel your clothes drying quickly. You feel the sensation return to your toes a little quicker. If you had just walked into somewhere like a tavern with a hearth, it would take you an hour, 2 hours sitting right next to it before you really warmed up this much. And you're already kind of warming through. Your clothes are drying quite well. You're just pretty comfortable and pretty warm in here. It's pretty relaxing, although some of that could be the incense.
I don't say anything then. I just like chill next to Alvin after I put my cloak on him as he falls asleep. I just sit there waiting my
Does anyone
turn.
else want another slice of cake?
Yeah, I'd like another slice.
All right.
I've
What about you,
devoured
Ellie?
the piece that I've been given.
I'm not hungry.
All right.
Oh, you should try this cake.
It's really good. I mean, I haven't had my slice yet, but it's really good.
Oh, I don't want to take your slice if there's
No.
not enough.
Look at this. Look, there's so much cake. There's a house cake here. There's
Okay.
Your mom is
plenty.
a great baker.
Okay, but like I like think about it and I'm like, okay, I gotta be normal. Okay, just maybe a really small slice.
Oh, all right. I cut you a slice and it's not small at all. I don't really understand small slice of cake. Who wants
As you
that?
give it to me, I hesitate to take a bite, and then as I put it in my mouth, I immediately like spit it out and start choking.
What? I mean, if you're not going to eat it, I'll take your piece.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's good. No, but I think you should eat it. It doesn't, the sweet stuff, it doesn't sit well.
I never felt like you were a
Alright.
sweets person, so I get it.
Never, and I lie. I'm like, never have been.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm already reaching for her plate, like pushing off the part that she spit out. All right, thank you. And I bend over Gollum style, and I'm just like eating this piece of cake.
My
Suuna,
precious.
do you think half of the cake is gone?
Yeah.
As
Oh,
in,
sorry.
on the
For me,
whole
mine
thing.
is.
Well, of the entire
Well, I'd
cake, how much
I'd
of it do you
say-
think you've served up?
Well, how big was the cake? It was a birthday cake, right? Yeah,
pretty
I'd say
big
so
cake.
because I'm having a slice, and Aura's had 2 slices. Alvin had a big hefty slice, and I imagine the cake is just for us. So I've been very
Yeah.
generous with the slices. Although I did save a big slice for Bo. So
As
yeah,
you,
I'd say about half.
whatever slice you served up last, as you put it on the plate, turn
Mine.
around to, oh, there you go, you have a slice. You see the cake regrow.
I figured.
It fills back up. It pushes out from one side and it's almost like it grows. I don't know how to describe that very well, but like it comes out from one end and refills the plate. And then you guys get this. There's another smell, as the smell of like a freshly baked cake hits the air, and you get another sensation that another
Delightful.
cake has been baked. And are you guys drinking the tea as well?
Oh, yes. You have to have the lemon with the lavender. They're
No.
good flavors together.
No matter how much of it you pour, it doesn't go down the amount of tea in the pot.
I feel like I would try the tea as well to be normal, and I would choke again and put it like in front of me and be like, I'll drink it later. It's okay.
Sure. Maybe it's not for you, but
Maybe I just, I feel like maybe I'm just the cold and it's not, and I just try to make excuses and I just finally fall silent and sit there.
sure.
Inside the other room, Bo, you walk through the beads, the bead door things. I can't remember what they're called, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, where they part, and you enter into a room that looks like a typical fortune teller's room. There are lots of interesting and strange looking books in the room. There are several bins that seem to have scrolls and things in them. You also see an array of jewelry and things like that, which I think catches your eye quite quickly. Necklaces and amulets and rings and things like that in lots of little chests and sitting in little boxes and things on several bookshelves and on little desks and things like that. The room's pretty small though, and even though when you step into it, it seems like there's a lot in here. The room somehow seems to accommodate for a pretty decent sized table and two chairs in the center of the room with a red tablecloth on it. Already sat on the other side, shuffling a deck of cards, is the woman who introduced herself as Mother Numera, and she sort of just gestures to the other chair and says, "Welcome to my home. Bo, I already know your name."
Oh, that you do. Do I address you as Numera, or can I, considering I'm such good friends with Suuna, can I perhaps call you Mama? Sorry, that's probably very unprofessional of me. I will just take my seat.
You may call me what you like.
Oh.
She looks you up and down quite salaciously, and her large eyes lock on to where yours are underneath your sunglasses, and I think it probably does something a little odd to you for a moment, because at first you look into her eyes as she looks you up and down as you're sitting down, and she's shuffling these cards, but looking into them forces you to look away. As you look into her eyes, you're forced immediately to look away. There's an odd sensation. It's as if you're staring into these as if looking into these eyes for too long might reveal too much knowledge to you, is the sensation you get. For the first time, I think, since walking in, this very casual woman fixes you with a stare that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. You get the sensation that there's a lot of power within this room emanating from this person. She's not just a small woman or anything like that. She's something else, and her eyes drive that sensation towards you. You get the sense that if you look into her eyes and you fix her with anything longer than a glimpse, it might even drive you insane. Like there's something about her that emanates a very deep power. Whatever source of magic that you access to cast your spells, she's a well of that.
She's a whole lot of woman.
She closes her eyes and tilts her head back and laughs a little bit, and she's very casual. She crosses her legs and leans kind of sideways in her chair and spreads the cards across the table in that kind of like magic trick way that people who are good with cards can do. You can see that she looks very young. Her skin looks very young and clean. Her hands are very delicate and classically feminine. And she says, in all of my years, for the most part, I have been a fortune teller. It's how I make my money. If I don't, she just produces a coin from behind her fingers and then makes it disappear again. She says, when I meet somebody for the first time, I like to get a sense of who they are with the cards. Please, pick a card. Any card. And she gestures towards the card. Roll me in fact, I'll give you roll me a D22, in fact. A 13. How do you
that one?
Do you just point at it or do you grab it? What do you do?
I try to be confident, even though my palms are all clammy, and I point my hand without trying to shake too much. I picked that one, touching my index finger on a card, trying to look at her, but then because she's too much of a woman, I kind of look to my left.
She taps it 3 times and pushes it out from the rest of the cards and pushes it across the table towards you and says, "Turn it over."
Still looking to my left, I'm like, oh, okay. And I flip it over. Hopefully, it's facing Mama Numera.
You turn over a card, and on it is a skeletal-looking man. At the bottom of the card, it says one single word: death. She looks down at it and then looks up at you, and then laughs again. She lets out a short, sharp laugh and says, "I always enjoy it when somebody draws this card. Do you know what it means?"
Well, I don't feel so good about drawing a card like that. What can you tell me about that, Mama Numera?
She says, "Do not fear. Death does not always mean death, as you should well know." She sort of gestures towards the door behind you and says, "Yes, it is, sometimes it can mean the end of something, that's for sure. But usually it means change." She moves herself now and sits forward. She puts her arms up on the table and fixes you with another stare. Again, I think you just instinctually can't help but look away, but she looks dead at you and says, "It is the impermeability of all things. You understand? Change is coming."
Change. Okay. Like a haircut? Am I getting a haircut?
She leans back in her chair and laughs at you again. She says, "You are strange, aren't you?"
Well, considering I am missing a butt cheek, I guess that does make me kind of strange. But strange can be good, yes?
You remind me of somebody I used to know.
I do.
Within me lies thunder and lightning, the fury of windstorms. Yet it is you who is the chaos here, no?
Oh, you saying I can cause a lot of trouble? Because I most certainly can if you wanted me to.
Yes, I am sure you could. We sit upon a lake. Can you hear it? Can you feel it?
Not really, if I do say so myself, considering it's
launches
froze.
across the table. The cards spill everywhere and she grabs your hand. Give me an Arcana check. Ooh, as she grabs your hand, there is a crack of thunder. You get like a full electric shock from her. Your hair stands on end. You feel like you're hit by a pretty big electric shock, and I think it pushes you back in your chair, and she lets go. However, there is this deep understanding of your surroundings. You feel and understand, and you for a moment can feel the water underneath the cottage that you're in, the lake. You feel it as if you are it. You feel the ice. You feel the snow that's settled on the ground and the snow which is falling out of the sky all around you, far. You can almost feel like it's probably a very disassociative sensation for a brief second as you just get this sense of all of this water and ice and snow around you. And she says, "Aha, I knew it."
No, what? This is the weirdest feeling. I feel like I am everything. Is this real life?
Oh, this is real life. Life that you have not yet accessed. Interesting. One like you does not come along every day. A hidden power. Dormant.
I am a face hard to forget.
Surrounded by snow. Why, you might be the most powerful being in all of Lakrin.
You're making me blush.
But so limited in this packaging.
What?
So small.
I am the
so old.
Small. Small.
Access to so much power could. Yes, it could simply decimate you. Perhaps I will just leave it to you. She pulls out a tarot card and says, "The Suite of Cups." She throws it at you. It's the Six of Cups, and she says, "Water. It rules over this suite, the Suite of Cups. To demons." She looks you up and down again. Water is closely connected to psychic things. You have ever read anybody's mind? You hear what they are thinking before they say it?
Can't say I have. I'm good at reading people's faces, but I can't say their minds.
Do you find yourself drawn to rituals, cults, and dark priests hidden in sewers?
No, I can't say I am, but I am drawn to a pretty face.
Yes. Motion. Always moving, perhaps. Yes. What about, mystery? Refreshment? Yes, you are the funny one. But mysterious behind those glasses and all that hair. What are you hiding, Bobobo?
I'm not hiding anything. I just like my sunglasses, and I like to grow my hair long. And I think the beard gives me attitude.
Yes. Soon you will call upon it, and when you do, you will see that water can also represent peace.
Oh, what if one doesn't know how to swim?
Oh, I think you can swim. I think you might be a very good swimmer. Did you not take a little dip into the drink recently?
Well, not to my, I didn't exactly willingly do it.
Okay.
Last time I went
You
swimming.
can leave now. And she points at the two cards, the Six of Cups and the Death card, and she says, "Take those. They are yours."
Okay, and with my clammy hands, I take the two cards.
Send in another, but not my daughter.
Okay. Thank you, Mama Numera.
Quickly now, we don't have much time.
Right. And I
Like looking at her
walk
nails, she's so
backwards,
uninterested in you.
Okay. And then I open the bead curtains,
Yeah.
and I look
His name
towards the
Ed.
girls.
And he would walk an hour and a half to my cottage just to ask me a question, and then I'd answer it, and then he'd turn around and walk the hour and a
I
half.
have my eyes closed, but I'm not like asleep. I just have my eyes closed next to Alvin.
Hi, ladies.
Well, I saved you some cake.
So did you guys
did
get
you?
it on in there or what? That took a while.
Well, you can say we got busy, but with other things. So Mama Numera would like to see someone else, just not Suuna, just yet.
Oh, all right. Maybe
I look at Aura and I'm like, not it.
Save me another piece of cake, and I get up and
I get up and grab her piece of cake and sit there with it.
I go to the beads and just lackadaisically just kind of open them and walk in.
All right, that's where we're going to go to a break here as you step in for your reading. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to go to a short break and go grab some cake and tea. And when we return, we shall see what Mother Numera has to say about Aura, to Aura, or what card she pulls, and see what happens on the other side of those beads. Thanks very much for watching. A quick announcement, if you didn't catch it last week, we have a new show starting up on Saturday next week. So the next Saturday in the calendar, the human mortal calendar, we have a show starting up. I'm going to run the trailer again here, and please mark it down in your human mortal calendars. I'm in that one, and so is Pumpkinberry and some other people. So if you enjoy some D&D, then you shall enjoy my personal protege, Phil's Gaming, who I handcrafted myself from. I didn't really. He watched one of my campaigns once and said, "I like that," and I was like, "You're now a GM. Congratulations, you fool! Ha 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 ha!" That's how they're born. And then I forced him to run a show for us. So if you want to see that, it's on next Saturday. I'm going to run the trailer right now. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in a few. Peace. Bye.
A simple task for gold. Deliver a small trinket to the Baron's wizard. Little do these adventurers know the events that are about to unravel, and the significance of the artifact they possess.
Hello there, and welcome back. Young Aura, you step through the beaded curtain thing, and into the same room that Beau was in. I think as you step through, you have a little more clarity in this room compared to the other one. There isn't that overpowering sense of incense and sleepiness. And yeah, you look around, you see the same things, the ornaments, a single lamp in the ceiling. There's a few books and things sitting around, lots of strange jewelry, probably some like clothing and stuff just kind of scattered, shawls and the like. And you see a woman sat at a table, Mother Numera. She sits with a deck of cards in her hand, shuffling them. She's sitting differently to when Beau walked in. For you, she's just sitting kind of looking at you straight away, and as you step in, you have the same sensation while she locks you with that stare that, like, looking at her immediately reveals to you the innate magical power of this woman, and staring at her would be a terrible idea. It's extremely difficult to do. It's kind of like looking at the sun. It's just instinctually you look away, and she's just staring at you as you step through, and she says, "Take a seat, Aura."
I'd probably try to keep looking at her, even though so it's like I'm catching glances as I walk over and sit down and take in the room. That cake is delicious.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have a penchant for lemon cake.
My mom would make lemon bars, and it was only when we got shipments in, and it's reminded me of that.
Yes, I understand she is a very intelligent person.
Yeah, she would. Well, she worked at the library, but she also read for fun. But she had lots of recipes, and this one was from down south. She would make the shortbread crust, and then when we got the lemons, and she'd try to do it for my birthday.
Yes, you have told me this before.
I apologize for being rude, but I don't think we've met.
She spreads the cards out on the table and says, when I meet somebody for the first time, I like to get an idea of them using my cards here. Please, pick a card. It's just for fun.
And it's a tarot deck that she's kind of laid out.
Yeah, they're like the backs of them are out to you. On each of the back of the cards, it just has a field of stars. Roll me a d22 if you want to pick one.
Okay. $15.
15. She's watching you carefully. How do you pick your card? What do you do?
I look at what she's laid out, and I study the cards, and then I just put my hand over them and kind of move my hand back and forth, and then instinctually, if I get a feeling, I put my hand down and I tap the card that was under my hand.
She pushes it towards you and says, She keeps her finger pressed on it though, and she looks up at you and says, different. And ironic. And she pushes it forward to you. Turn it over.
I'd glance up at her if I could, and then I'll flip it over.
On the card is an image of a demonic figure. A relatively sort of scratchy image. It's kind of hard to depict. It's like a impressionism or something. Like it's all weird and twisty, but you get a very demonic looking figure on there. Big kind of horns and a strange sort of like priestly set of like evil priest looking vestments on him. As you look at it a little more, his features soften, his horns shrink, and he becomes more human before your eyes. And she points at the word at the bottom of the card that says the demon. She says, yes, you would probably expect to be pulling this card from the deck. They no doubt call you demon before when you were a girl.
And now in town, some of them do.
I have a feeling that if you are able to return to your town, they will not call you this anymore.
Oh, I mean, they're not totally wrong, right?
Not too sure about your kind. It's strange. They say that you are born of demon blood, the mixture of mortal man and the demons, but I think not. I think something else. This card, do you know what it means?
I'm gonna have a family reunion soon?
Unfortunately, I think not. Not for you. It is destructive patterns, addiction, giving away your power. What could this mean for you?
Did have 2 pieces of cake. Maybe I have addictive tendencies. I mean,
it's not about the cake. I think it is about something deeper. I think it is the destruction of your life as you know it. Everything has been turned upside down, no? Literally, for you.
I just like growing potatoes and onions and garlic. I literally woke up and was torn from that.
But you have given away no power. You have granted new power, no? She glances at your, the back of your hand.
Yeah, I look down at it. I'm still learning how to.
Uh-oh. And she freezes.
Use it. Doesn't quite make sense yet. Hello?
You've activated the chronomancy for a moment and froze. You said, I'm still learning how to use it.
Yeah.
She, cocks her head sideways and says, borrowed power it is. You have given away your innate abilities in order to take this one on. You know that, right?
I guess I didn't really fully know what I was giving up,
No.
but I think I knew I was giving something up.
Nobody knows what they will give up until it is already gone. Do not lament. It is, perhaps more powerful than you would have had before. Perhaps not. It is old power. From long before my time, before your time.
Oh. Perhaps the card means that I've always been very passive and continue to be my whole life. So perhaps now I'm learning how to not be so passive and stick up for myself when there's stronger personalities or situations than I'm used to.
She leans back in her chair and says, You need no guidance from me. You have unlocked your potential. You already have a guide, do you not?
Alvin?
No, I think you are his guide. No, you need nothing from me. You may keep the card. Help yourself to another slice of cake. And, okay. I have one request.
Okay.
Protect my daughter, please. I ask as nothing more than a mother.
I start standing up and I'm sliding the card towards me and I'm putting it into a pocket. From what I know, Suuna's good people. I'll keep her safe.
She is not like you, or the others. She is different.
In what way?
I will explain soon enough. Have her prepare me lavender tea and a slice of cake, perhaps. I will be out soon, and send in your other friend, not the sleeping one, the girl.
All right. Thank you.
And you look better in green.
Yeah, I've always thought it suited me. Some people say the browns and then natural colors are just drab, and then I start realizing that I'm just kind of rambling about my clothes.
Okay, we don't have much time.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I stand up taller and I go out through the beads.
Yeah, you step out, the others are all sat around. Alvin's still dead asleep. I think he's slumped into the corner at an awkward angle. And yeah, go on.
I'm like petting his hair now. I'm like just petting his hair as I hold
He's
this
like-
piece of cake for Aura.
His face was bright red. He looked so mad, like he was going to explode. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
talking
that sounds
about-
really cool.
Toby again?
Oh yes, I get a little carried away.
Yeah,
It
she
was
really doesn't
so
like Toby.
good. Oh man, he was furious. Oh,
I hope I can meet this Toby guy one day, you know, for a reason.
no, you don't want to do that. No,
I mean, I do, actually.
no, absolutely not.
Are you sure you don't want me to meet him?
We have to meet him one
Yes,
of these days.
no, I hope I never see that man another day for the rest of my life.
Oh, Aura, I
Mr.
got your
Bold.
cake right
Thank
here.
you. Yeah, it's your turn.
And he's, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Alvin's still, he's like snoring now. I don't know, I was petting his hair and now he's snoring. I don't know, maybe drooling a little. It's kind of weird.
Well, we
He's
can.
quite
He does that. We could do a quick trade out and I'll sit where
Okay.
you're sitting.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. I get up.
And I sit down and I like try to plop his head on my thigh. Like, see, he sleeps through anything. It's kind of crazy. And
Yeah,
Suuna, she said when it's your turn to get some lavender tea and cake for
Oh,
her.
sure.
No, are you sure you don't want me bringing that in? I could bring that in.
Yeah, I mean, I could just get a slice now.
Yeah.
It seemed like she wanted you to bring it.
All right.
Oh, your mom's very particular. All right. I can't wait to meet her. It's
Have
gonna be great.
fun.
Oh, she's very particular.
And I walk in.
Yeah, you step in, and as you walk into the room, she's sat at the table, the cards again being shuffled in her hands. She looks at you and she looks at you kind of sideways, looks you up and down as you step through the door, and she says, "Hello."
Oh, is it something I'm wearing? Is it? I got this, back at home. That's all I have. So if it's something I'm wearing, I can't help it. It's just who I am.
Please take a seat.
Right? Okay. I'll take a seat.
She like looks left and right, looks you up and down, and says, an interesting turn of events that even I was not expecting. If I had to guess, I would say curse from witch.
Is that what that was? That lady that I saw? Yeah, I think she's kind of a bitch.
Yes, I do wonder. I can,
Oh, I take off my glove. I'm like, yeah, she did this to me.
Does it hurt or ache?
Yeah, there's I mean, I've sort of gotten used to it by now, but it's better than the hunger I felt before.
Yes, you are, going to have to live with that for the rest of your unlife, I'm afraid.
I mean, I couldn't just cut it off and maybe get some sort of replacement or something.
I am not sure cutting it off will remove the ache. You're better off with 2 hands.
That sucks.
Yes, there is very little for one of your kind that I can do, but perhaps there is something. First, I like to get to know somebody. She spreads the cards across the table and says, "Pick a card. It's just for fun. Any card. You can roll a d22 if you want to pick a card."
I look at her for a second. All right, I'll play your game.
She doesn't seem to be fixing you with that same gaze that the others got, by the way, but you wouldn't know that necessarily. It's just that she seems to not really be making too much eye contact with you. A 6. She, how do you pick it? How do you pick the card? What do you do?
I literally just reach for the nearest card and flip it over.
Yeah, and you see what can only be described as a very graphic image. You can see 2 people involved in the act of lovemaking. At the bottom it says "the lovers," and she, Mother Numera, immediately giggles and says, "Oh, interesting." She says, "That is your card, and you can do with it whatever you like. Can you guess what it means?"
I'm gonna get laid.
Perhaps with a gift. She starts moving around. She stands up and starts moving around. You can see her rummaging through all the things in the room. She lifts up a chest, looks behind a curtain. She says, "Sexuality, passion. But really," she turns on you. She says, "It means choice.
Choice. Okay.
That is, I think, what the cards are telling you." She reaches up on top of a shelf, and you can hear her knocking around in what feels like bottles, and she grabs at one and brings down what looks like a golden jar or something at first, and she hides it, clutching it to her breast. As she turns around, she says, "Choice, and perhaps for you, it is more about uniting. Do you have many friends outside of these people?"
No, I mean, I have a couple, I guess you could call them family. I don't really, my line of work doesn't really allow me to make friends with very many people.
Yes, And what about these people out here?
They're all right.
Do you think if one of them was in trouble, you would die for them?
I sort of like look at her. I look at my hand. Well, what am I right now?
You are what is known as a lifeless. Not quite a ghoul. You are not a revenant. You're certainly not a vampire. No. You are, not alive, not dead.
Yeah, I guess I would die for them if the circumstance was right.
Then perhaps your card is not as lewd as we first thought. Might I ask one question of you?
Sure.
Your time before you died, did you enjoy your time as a killer or hire?
Enjoyed? I mean, that's not the word I would use. It sort of was just what I knew. It's what I did. It's what I was raised to do.
As I suspected. Well, you have yet to unlock your power as a being of undead. But you do have a dark road ahead of you. She pushes the bottle across towards you and says, I shan't be needing this, not at my age. Take it. She hands you what looks like a golden perfume bottle. It's just in a shape of kind of like a diamond. There's some patterning on the side. Doesn't seem to be anything like writing or anything. But it looks like a pretty expensive bottle. It does look like real gold. The lid is able to come off and there's like a little dipper. You could probably pull some of the perfume out. You can smell it straight away. It smells quite nice. And she says, yes, you remove the stopper and place a drop on your wrists and your neck and you will smell delightful.
You think that'll help me against maybe someone who hunts my kind?
Oh yes. I would not give you anything less than the most delightful perfume for the road ahead.
How long will this last me, you think?
Oh, that will last you for a very long time. It has lasted me for 3 centuries?
Yeah, okay. Wow, that's a long time. You look great for your age, not gonna lie.
Yes, quite. I think you know this by now, but you are more than just an agent of death. But you are an agent of death. You have always been an agent of death. Do you not possess a dagger, one different from all the rest?
Do I know which dagger she's referencing? Because I possess like 3. Or I possess 2, I guess.
Do you show her one? Do you think of one?
I show her my venom dagger because it's the one that's different.
Yes. An enchanted trinket. No, you have something of great power, given to you by someone who I shall not name right now.
Is she talking about Ahi's dagger?
Maybe. Do you show her it?
I thought I gave that up.
You still have it. You still have
okay.
you still have the thing. Yeah, you gave it up.
Yeah, I show her Ahi's dagger then.
You didn't actually hand it over like the other 2 did.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Used
okay.
it to get out of the dungeon. She says, yes, keep that away from me. Should it draw the right blood, you will draw from yourself a latent power, but she looks down at the card again. Choice. I fear you will lose yourself in the process. Beware your own strength and question your purpose, Ellie. You were not born a killer. No matter whose blood lays still in your veins. It's a powerful weapon that you hold within you, and that is the key.
Well, this was a lot of advice I wasn't expecting. All right, you give me some things to think about. I was gonna bring you cake, but it doesn't taste very good to me. Sorry. No, I mean no offense.
No,
I know you did a great job, but
none
no.
taken. I'm afraid I have nothing for you that you will enjoy, and I am very sorry that this has happened to you.
Well, it's kind of brought it upon myself, I guess. Don't exactly know when it started, but I have a feeling.
Perhaps, if you are lucky, perhaps you can find the hag who did this to you, and if you lay her to rest, perhaps it will be easier for you to continue. Perhaps it will not.
I reach over and I grab the bottle, I grab the card. Is that it?
Yes, we are running out of time. I will join you in the parlor soon enough.
You want me to send in your daughter? Or maybe the little guy?
No. Unfortunately, the small one's fate is sealed, and my daughter, well, I know everything I need to know about her.
I look back at her, I'm like, wait, fate is sealed. I'm not gonna drink his blood, right?
I should hope not.
Well, that wasn't okay. Well, I'm not gonna do it. Like, what? I turn to start walking out.
Yeah, she watches you walk out. You step back into the parlor. Like, Alvin is still kind of like sleeping at an awkward angle, on Aura's lap, and the others are all scoffing down cake as it miraculously returns. And you don't feel full. You can eat as much as you want.
I've already shoved the perfume in my pocket, so when I walk out, it's not visible.
Oh, wonderful. I was just getting another slice of cake.
I'm done, but she said she knows enough about you. I point to Suuna.
Oh,
That she doesn't really need to see you, but I mean, you can go in if you want. I'm not going to stop you or anything, you know?
oh no, if she doesn't need to see me, that's fine.
You don't want to see your own mom. I mean, she seems like she's pretty knowledgeable. It's pretty,
Well, yes, that is accurate. She's
Steps
very,
into
very.
the room.
oh, see, there she is.
I brush the crumbs off my beard. Oh,
I'm
hi,
going to-
Mama Numera.
And
I'm going to sit down and tell you a little story, okay?
You want to sit next to me?
I sit next to Bo.
She looks down at Bo and says, "I will sit here." She crosses the room and sits down in front of the table and looks at you, Suuna, and says, "A slice."
Would you also like some tea?
Yes, please.
Okay, wonderful. I walk over with the cake slice first because I do use my walking stick, and then I walk back to go get the tea, and then I bring the tea back.
She sits with her legs crossed, and sort of holds the tea and the teacup, and she looks across at each of you, and you get a quick sensation of that wave of power, and her face is quite difficult to read. I think she looks like she's just casually sitting around waiting for one of you to speak, looking at
I shake
each of
Alvin
you.
awake if he'll wake up.
He doesn't wake up, no, and she says, "You should leave him asleep. If he hears what I have to say, he will be in a lot of danger."
Oh, well, I check his pulse anyway.
Says, "He's quite alive. He will be
Okay,
safe
just making
here."
sure, you know. If anything happened to him, and I look at Aura, I wouldn't want to be blamed for it.
It's fine. I don't know why he won't wake up though. I look up at.
This is overwhelming. This is overwhelming experience for him, probably.
I mean, he's small.
No,
I'm
it's-
sure she's just keeping him safe, because if he
the-
hears what she has to say, he'll be in danger, right?
Well,
it's
now
my
I'm
home.
curious.
It's my home. It's my home. It's
Right.
going to keep him asleep
Very.
while he needs to be asleep. So, you were all sent here by her, no?
Well, a future her, but yeah, that's right, Mother.
Yes. You know that the last time we all met was somewhere quite different.
We all met.
Well, is this us meeting you, or more like future us, or?
Oh, future you are... they are all dead. They,
No,
failed? No, that's not right. They successfully failed. That's what they did. Yes.
I don't know.
Successfully failed?
That's an oxymoron.
Perhaps. Do you know the story of Deyavaki? What have you learned so far?
Do I know the story?
No. None of you
I
know
just remain silent
really
and look
anything,
at her.
and she shakes her head. Well, I see this is going to take longer than I expected. She turns around and pushes a curtain aside and looks out. She looks up at the sky. Suuna, give me an insight check.
Ooh, 1T1.
21. You see her wince at something. For a brief moment, you see her look up in the sky and she winces at something very quickly and then shakes her head.
Is everything all right, Mother?
For now, yes. We have a lot to discuss.
Would you like another slice of cake?
No. She puts her teacup down and she crosses her arms and looks across each of you and says, well, I suppose this is quite the shortcut. Yes, I understand why you are here now. Okay. Deyavaki. And she moves her hand across the air, and you can see, as she pushes it through the air, you can see kind of mist and smoke, and you can see the word appear. Let's see here. All of you speak common. What is your natural language? The half-elves. You would see this word in Elven.
Okay.
I think Suuna and Oro, you would see it in common based on your upbringings. You see the word Deyavaki, which is spelt this way: Deavaki for the purposes of English. And the room dims a little bit as she pushes the smoke across the room, and then as it dissipates, you get a little more clarity from the sort of smoky environment, and that sensation of like that stoned high feeling kind of passes, and you can hear her words very clearly, and she says, Deyavaki created Lakrin long ago. But the stars, those belong to those who have fought and died. You are no different than those stars. She looks at the three that are not Suuna when she says that and says, Chaos. It is an energy that lies beyond. It rules beyond. In the first cycle, a hero was destined to rise and replace Deyavaki. Deyavaki, believing himself to be the true god, defeated this first hero and then began to twist and change the hero prophecy, installing false gods into the dying order. When the cycle ends, a new hero rises, and they meet instead the previous heroes of the cycles. Eventually, they grow their own pantheon. Over the course of 8 cycles, Deyavaki, he grows complacent and begins to enjoy the cycles like an emperor at a gladiatorial coliseum. The ancient magi, the ones who came before us here, they became so attuned to magic that they successfully figured out the chaos, the true rules of the Dying Order. They constructed gates. You have been to one. They open seals of chaos they lock them open. They have been open for many thousands of years. Should the Magi fail, the next cycle may succeed. Do you know, almost every time I think of Deivaki, within minutes, I forget this tale. But for this one image, she reaches underneath the table and pulls out just an old-looking piece of paper, an old piece of vellum parchment, and puts it on the table and slides it roughly across the table to you, Suuna. She, leaving her hand on it, says, "When I clasp this, I am able to recall what I have learned. Take it, Suuna. It is yours, and hold it dear."
All right.
On it is a very strange-looking image of a sort of winged thing with a big kind of
What the
floating
hell is
circle
this?
around it. It's got a very alien-looking pointed head, spikes, and then these kind of, they're almost like robes drifting off from the bottom of whatever this
Looks
thing
like a
is.
phoenix.
It looks like a phoenix. It looks, but it looks like how it looks here. It's little more than an eroded ink splotch at this point on this very, very old-looking piece of paper. She says, "This parchment is enchanted. It is strong, but it is so very old."
All right.
She says, there are 7 seals, as I understand it. For all intents and purposes, we will call them Chaos Seals. And even Deivaki is bound by laws of some kind, the laws of the universe, the laws of chaos. Chaos is the energy that sits between and beyond the cracks in the mortar of the world. And when Deivaki created this place, chaos left behind a failsafe. Should Deivaki corrupt the dying order, 7 chaos seals. When opened, they would grant mortality to Deivaki. And the hero that breaks the seals would have access to Deivaki directly.
I look over to Aura. Oh, to take him down.
She blinks a couple times and says, "Yes. You believe it to be Aura, don't you, my daughter?"
Oh, yes, you should see her, Mother. She's amazing.
Do you believe in fate, Suuna?
Quite something else. You ask me that every time, Mom. Yes, you know I do.
Then do you not think it strange that one who has died has come back to us? For this journey?
I look at Bobo.
Ellie?
Very strange.
Perhaps. Or perhaps somebody who is so strong in the element of water. When the world is covered in snow and water.
Do we know anyone like that?
We do not know who our prophetic hero is. But I know one thing, daughter. It is not you.
Oh, well, I could have told you that. I can't slay a god.
I lean into Bobo and I nudge him on the shoulder. I'm like, it's probably your ass.
I can't even say no to another slice of cake, let alone slay a... no,
I have
thank
been
you.
running for all of my life. Do you know how old I am?
I think you said 3 centuries.
And more.
See? Yeah. Oh, and more. Yeah, I forgot that part. Sorry. See, I kind of remembered.
There are false gods up there, out there. They are not powerless, but they are bound to Deivaki's ultimate rule. Deivaki does not like seers, those that can divine. During a previous cycle, a hero known as Savras, using divination, discovered that Deivaki was the one true god. destined to be replaced long ago. But he was corrupt and lost, twisting those cycles to rule as his own singular god power. Savras discovered those seals and bypassed Deavaki's false dying order, the race that you used to be on.
So if we go and collect these 7 seals, then one of these 3 is going to become the new,
Well,
No.
one of us is gonna have to.
No.
Well, maybe more than one of us is gonna have to kill him. Maybe sacrifice ourselves, right?
That's my point. What happens after that?
Well,
You're supposed to replace him, right?
I'm not gonna replace him. You know me. You guys would make a way better replacement, right?
it has never been done.
Oh,
We
well.
do not know what happens if one of you is able to bring him down.
Well, I guess this is where we find out, right? I have like an overconfidence in this. Like, well, let's go. Let's find this out.
That just seems very dangerous.
Well, I mean, and I still have my hand like not gloved, and I'm like, well, I mean, obviously it's dangerous. I mean,
Well, I mean, this is nothing compared to
To
probably
dying, coming back.
what is going to happen. I just mean it sounds.
Do we have a choice? I mean, if they're really going to end the world and this cycle repeats itself, then shouldn't we try to stop the cycle?
Well, yes, obviously we should try. We should always try and make an effort, especially when other innocent lives are at stake. But I'm just saying this. This sounds.
Well, I'm in. And I look at Bobo, I'm like, what about you? And I nudge him, I'm like, what about you? Are you in?
Oh, you know it.
All right. What if you lose your other half of your ass? You still in?
Even without an ass.
All right.
I'm still
Okay, we
in.
got 2 of us. What about you, Aura? Are you in?
I don't think we have much of a choice.
No, but we do have a choice, and I look back at Suuna's mom, and I'm like, that's what I was kind of told. We have a choice. We just have to make that choice. So, are you in?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Suuna. See, you got 3 of us that are in. So, if you're in, then we're all in.
All right. We're all in, I guess.
Yes, all in.
Hmm.
Savras, the hero of old, was no warrior. This was his weakness. A fierce battle did ensue, but it saw Deavaki victorious. Savras was turned to Deavaki's side and enslaved as his own god of divination.
Oh.
Any that discover the secret of Deavaki by these means are sought out and removed by Savras himself.
Oh. So we would have to beat him first. This is what you're getting at.
Does he have a weakness?
Do not know. I wish I did. I have been running from Savras for over 2,000 years.
Jesus.
So you can run from him at least. That's good.
Yes, and now you will have to too. Suuna, you
Well-
have run from him once, though you do not remember it.
I'm afraid I don't remember a lot of things anymore, Mother.
The tower that you have seen.
What of it?
I have tried to keep you from it.
The tower?
That is the Tower of Savras.
But I'm called to it.
You stepped into his very home. It was not the pearl that took your memory, but me.
What?
Within the pearl, you saw the Tower of Severus, and it was too late. There was no stopping what would come unless I intervened. For the first time.
I'm sorry. You took my children from me.
I saved their lives. And yours. And now it is your turn to save them. And their children. And these people.
This is just a lot.
Fate has played its hand. Not long after I took your memory, you were entangled in this. The Dying Order, the race. I knew that this would come. I have always known.
Not long. Might not be long for you, Mother, but it was 10 years for me.
I understand. I have had to make many sacrifices in my life. But I am not sorry for doing this.
No, I wouldn't dream of... It's just a lot.
I have no idea how I came to be. One moment I was not there, and the very next I was. I am not immortal, but I do not age, wither, or weaken with time. I bleed. I have been on the brink of death countless times. My life, for the most part, has been no different to anyone else, but as I count the years, they number in the thousands. I was there before calendars existed. I was there when they founded the first city of Rosegard. I saw them create the first vampire. I witnessed them create grand walking cities, call upon gods, found the Inquisition. I saw boys triumph in tournaments and men kill families they loved in the name of ancient species. I witnessed the forging of the very first blade. I saw the elves conquer the dwarves, and the dwarves rise up against men. I witnessed 2 world wars, and the avoidance of the third. I witnessed the rise and fall of a tyrant, and the birth of a god king. I've witnessed towns swallowed whole by sands, and continents swallowed whole by the sea. I have witnessed the birth of my own children, and I wiped the memory of my last. I know pain, suffering, joy, shame, grief. This has been my life, all while one hand held my cards, and the other held the hand of fate. The swell of the waves of fate have brought me to every shore of this world. I witnessed every turning point our history has pivoted on, and each wave brought me here, to this moment. As much as I tried to intervene, tried to stop it, here I stand. Before you, my daughter. Once more. I am enslaved by fate, and you too are bound by it. The hero of prophecy may not be you, my daughter, but you stand beside them. It is only one of the 6 hands here that has the power to fell Deavaki, the one true God, who has long sat upon a throne that rightfully, no doubt, belonged to another. Deavaki avoids his fate as I avoided mine. Now let me readjust the wheels once more. Let me send you on your path, for that is my role in all of this. Very simple. To place you on a path and let you walk it. She stands up and walks over to another window and looks outside and she's quiet for a decent amount of time, I think. For a little while, she's just looking at the out of the window.
I think for the first time, Suuna is also very quiet.
She turns
That was
back.
a lot to take in.
She turns back and she wipes a single tear from her eye. Suuna, I don't think you've ever seen that.
No,
From her?
probably not.
She says, "Eventually, I began to question why nothing existed before the first snow. Where did the people come from? If the mortals' time began with the ice melting, then what of those that lie outside mortality? Well, questioning demons and devils proved to be difficult, until one day I found myself in just the right place at just the right time. The waves of fate had once again brought me ashore. That is when I met a demon who had for many years been enslaved to a devil of ice known as Lord Chiba. And it seems this Lord Chiba was quite enamored with the very same questions. The demons had existed before the cycle, and even before the snows of 2,000 years ago. But they could not recall who they were before. If there have been 9 cycles, and we are in the 9th, why do they not remember the 8th? According to your father, Suuna, Lord Chiba has the answer. But no doubt, like me, he has never spoken a word, for fear of the wrath of Deyavaki. My dear, if you are going to bring heaven down, you're going to need a devil.
And how do you propose we do that, Mum?
There are several ways to summon up a devil. I would suggest you find one and find your way. You could, of course, find your father, have him bring you to Lord Chiba, discover the truth. With that knowledge, you will be able to access whatever lies beyond heaven, beyond Elysium, beyond Arcadia, the place where Deyavaki lives. I know this is the path for you have done it once before, all of you. For if you had not, then you would not be here before me today.
It's also very confusing.
Yes. The path from now will be difficult. It will be dark. It will be hard. You will be chased. You will be hunted. Mortals, demons, the gods.
So par for the course of what we've already faced thus far. So just a little more of that. And we find your dad now.
Right.
Or learn how to summon the devil, which I have never done. So hopefully one of you knows how to do that.
Well, we'll have to figure it out, won't we?
You will have to figure it out quickly.
Quickly? I don't think this is stuff you can pick up in books.
Aura,
Yes.
look to the door of my cottage.
I'll look towards the door.
Your God Portal ability allows you to very quickly sense that you can open and walk through the door as a god portal if you'd like. You can use it to access one of those things. You can see it, you can sense it immediately. She says, you will need to open that very shortly. You will all need to go.
Do we know where Aura's, or not Aura's, that's me, where Suuna's father is?
No clue.
The last I saw him was the big city, Bologna.
Wait, what?
But it was a long time ago. He moves around.
Would I know how to do anything to find a demon?
I don't think so. I don't know if any of you have any abilities to find.
Well, I mean,
What
demons.
about my eyeball? Can I ask?
Maybe. I don't know if you know that either, really.
Well, that was my first thought. I don't really want to do it right now.
Well, should we start in the city then?
Yes.
I've been meaning to find my family there anyway. So I'm sure they are worried about my belongings and might be good for me, and I gestured to Bobo, for us to go back and find out what we know from there too.
Well, as much as I'm from there too, I can't say I have family I can go back to.
Oh, well.
Maybe we'd have better luck in somewhere like Darkvale.
You want to go straight there instead of going to Bologna where your dad was last spotted?
Well, last spotted, you make it sound like my mom saw him a month ago or
I mean, that's better than...
We're talking centuries.
That's better than going off nothing and going to a place that we've never been to, and from what I would gather would be rather dangerous.
All right.
And in Bologna, maybe we can find a person that would maybe be a little more astute at knowing this kind of stuff.
Sure. Maybe.
Just avoid, the paladins and clerics, maybe.
A little difficult in your situation.
Well, thanks to your mother, I have a little help now, so just gotta cover my eyes.
All right.
The city might have somebody who knows how to summon a demon too.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Does that mean your dad's a...
Yeah.
A what?
He is quite a demon.
Oh.
He is, he will appear to you to be quite human. But he is not. He is an incubus. His true name is Essen. But I believe he goes by the name Xerxes.
All right, so Mama Numera is into horns. Got it. What was his name again?
Essen. Xerxes, I guess, is what he's going by now.
Okay. And last seen in Bologna? Oh, that's a big city. Well, I mean, if
Well, I
he's
have connections in that city and can ask around. I mean, we just got to visit my family, and they're, I look at Aura and Bobo, and I'm like, they're a little bit like me.
Oh, okay.
You should be fine.
Will there be spikes with heads outside the front gate?
No, that was Aura helped me with that. Thank you. It wasn't just me.
It was your idea.
Collaboration.
It was a collab, and she mentioned it, not me.
Oh, maybe.
So if you're gonna pin that on me, I blame her, and I point to Aura.
I mean, you did cut the head off. I just made the stick. So
I did what I needed to do.
It was
And trust me,
necessary.
if you're with me,
Necessary at all.
no one has anything to worry about as long as you're with me, as long as they're not pissed off that I disappeared out of nowhere because of all this nonsense with gods.
I mean, they might be understanding,
I'm sure that they will be more than happy to help because they are kind of assholes. Surprising, I know.
I would have never guessed. Well, it sounds like we can get a lot done in the city then.
All right. Mother, I know this is really difficult, but when exactly did you see him last?
I believe it was 9 months before you were born.
Right. So,
Wow.
a long time ago. I'm sure he's still there.
What does he look like?
Even if he's not.
That's the thing, is if she doesn't know what he looks like.
Yeah, I'm
Can you
afraid
remember?
I do not know how he looks to you now. You will be using magics to disguise how he looks.
Right.
Oh
Right.
God, he could look like anything. He could be a dog.
Okay, so we get a powerful magic user, we kidnap them, we enslave them, and we make them discover your dad or any trail that
What
he
is
might have
wrong with you, Ellie? We're not kidnapping someone. We're not enslaved. Listen to the words coming out of your mouth. We're not doing that. It's not happening.
But at what
Pay
point?
someone.
Holy
it help us?
stars.
But at what point do we beat this god without hurting a couple people? We don't have to kill
but
him.
how about maybe until it's absolutely necessary, which it is not.
Kind of sounds necessary right
It's
now.
not necessary. We'll
You're a
find
strong
another way.
magic user. We don't need to kidnap you.
There you go. I can do something. All
I
right.
see we're on the same wavelength. You know
I
what?
don't know about that. I don't want to kidnap or enslave anyone.
It would be temporary. I wouldn't do it permanently. That's a waste of my time.
It doesn't matter. Enslavement is enslavement, Ellie.
At least I said
Think
enslavement.
they're
and
going to
not
care
murdering.
about how long they were enslaved?
A couple days. It's not bad, right?
It's
I
terrible.
clearly have no emotion, but I'm trying to act like I do, and I'm just failing miserably. By the way.
We could start with some questions, and then maybe we could feel out the situation
That
from there.
sounds
There you
like
go.
a great
We'll
idea.
feel it out, and if it's
Questions.
enslavement, we'll do it.
Gotta keep our options open.
Thank you, Aura. I'm glad someone gets it.
But let's try to not enslave people unless we absolutely have to.
We're not going to have to enslave anyone. Let's just take that off the table. All right?
Wait, but Bobo, didn't you enslave that guy's mind? You
Okay,
charmed
look,
him, right?
What?
Let's. Okay, it was a charm. It was not quite.
What is the
enslaved.
difference between charming someone and enslaving their mind temporarily?
Okay, because it wears off and they remember everything. Okay.
Okay, so we get a temporary charm, aka enslavement temporarily, so they help us.
They also
What's
have
the difference? I don't understand.
You really think we can do this, Mum?
I look back at her mom.
She's watching you all and she says, "You have no choice but to do this. You pull together your resources. You work as a family. Then I believe, my daughter, you can achieve anything."
That's a very nice sentiment.
But your father is not a good person.
You've said that before, yes.
I mean, he is
A demon?
quite morally corrupt.
So a
evil.
demon.
The better the demon that you know.
Ooh,
will
you know
not-
what? He could be a politician.
He very
Or he
well
could be a
be.
chihuahua.
Yeah, both of them are very demon-like and corrupt.
No.
Very much so. I got bit by a chihuahua once.
He likes attention.
Never mind.
Right?
He.
What else
He-
can you tell us about him?
He will
Clues
be.
before we go.
He will not care that you are his daughter.
Oh, I know.
He will not
Told me
be
that
a
several
willing
times.
ally.
All right.
Perhaps your enslavement is not the worst idea. You must
What?
do what you must do.
See? Huh?
For crying out loud.
Get
It's
the
awful.
information from him, whatever it takes.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be happy once the enslavement's over. He'll just forget it.
No,
Well,
because he'll
We
be
have to
caught
think.
then.
You might not have to, Mum, but we have to think about what happens afterwards.
We just kill him, right?
What?
Oh, should I not say that? My bad.
No, I don't care. I don't know him. I never met him.
I mean, he's a demon, right? So we could just kill him. And I mean, I wouldn't
Right.
feel anything.
I have demon blood in me. Are you gonna kill me?
Wait,
No, I'm not.
you?
Are you an asshole?
Wait, what?
I'd like to think that I'm not. I'm a tiefling.
Well, I mean, but are you an asshole that goes around corrupting and you know all that nonsense and whatever?
No.
Okay, I won't kill you.
I think
Maybe the
that
two of us together could do it.
Yeah, both of y'all
Kill your
got that
dad?
blood.
What?
Yeah.
You don't want to enslave
I-
anybody, but you want to kill your father.
No, that's not what I meant. I just meant I'm not strong enough normally by myself. Perhaps you and I could do it together.
I mean, I'll do it if you don't want to.
No, I don't think you can help me.
All
I'll
right.
try.
I look over at my mother, who has never really liked this magic and has told me to kind of not use it. Does she look uncomfortable that I might try this right here in her tent?
Give me
Is
an
it one of these,
insight
like,
check.
don't do this shit in my house kind of thing? $22.
Then you know exactly what the look she is giving you means. She will straight up stop you.
All right.
You've seen that look
Okay.
before.
All right.
Whether it's a slap on the wrist or she does her thunderous,
Right.
explosive fucking, I'm a super powered being.
Right. Well, maybe as a last resort.
Or a first. I mean, I'm down for either.
No.
Listen, you gotta pick. Do you want to enslave someone or...
We don't even know that that's the option right now, Ellie. Why don't we just go and ask around? We have a
Oh,
name.
yeah, that was the first option. You're right. I forgot all about it. And I look at it. I just look around and I'm just like, whatever.
Feel some things out, and then we'll.
Yeah, well,
I heard they have a really nice kringle, which is a kind of pastry down south
Mother
that I've never
Numeris
tried.
stands up while you're speaking and walks over to the door and opens it. There is like an instant breeze of cold that pushes in, and she says, "Well, I think it is just about time for you to go."
What about Alvin?
I'll carry him.
But,
Yes,
but, I,
you can
but I think.
He's
carry
small.
him, right?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
I'm sure all of us could carry him, right?
He's a little guy.
She like pokes her head
All right.
outside and looks up at the sky. It's
All right.
long travel for you if you go back to your home, or perhaps you would like to go through the. She indicates to the door to you, Aura.
Mm-hmm.
It will be much quicker.
Well, if we've decided
do
where
that
we're
thing.
going,
Yeah, we're going to my
Yeah,
home.
But that's what I mean. Are we just going to take Alvin along with us?
Why not?
Well,
You want
because
to leave him here?
he just hadn't really decided that he wanted to come with us all the
Well,
way
you can't leave him
along.
here, so
All right.
I'm
All
already-
you have to
right.
make a decision.
I'm already picking him up.
Alright, yeah, you
He's
pick
wrapped
him
in
up.
my cloak and I'm picking him up.
Yeah.
All right.
better
She,
with us than he is.
Like cradling a baby right now, a big baby.
Mother Numeris swans across the room once again and pulls the deck of cards from her pocket and hands them to you, Suuna.
What? Her
Nothing.
cards that I was never allowed to touch. She's handing me her cards? What?
Yep.
You take them.
Yes.
Flip the top one.
I hesitate. She just wants me to pick one. She's not handing me the stack.
She hands you the stack but tells you to flip the top one. You can roll me a d22 if you want to do that.
8, of course. Infinite.
Strength. It's very strong looking. This is a ridiculous childish cartoon of a strong man. Looks like it was drawn by like a little kid. Really like Hercules looking dude in the image.
But this is the card I pulled for Aura, right? In the very beginning before I met them.
Maybe.
I pulled that for you, I think.
She says, yes, indeed. And then she says, keep them. They have always been yours.
Oh, no, Mike, I can't keep your cards.
She looks at you, and you can hold her gaze. The room around you two slows down. Ellie is lifting up. He's lifting up Alvin when suddenly she's like half lifting him, and they're moving, and they're still in the background like as they're halfway through their conversations. Bo is maybe standing up quickly, grabbing at a last piece of cake. Aura maybe doing the same thing, like beginning to wrap a cloak around her, and she fixes you instantly and suddenly with a gaze, and she says, the cards have always been yours. The reason that you were not allowed to touch almost anything was that you would get flashes of this very moment.
All right.
In fact, that is exactly what happened.
But I'm not very good with the cards.
You don't have to be. Your purpose is not the same as mine. Your purpose is here, now, and the future. Not just for these people, but for everyone.
I don't know what that means, but I will try.
Everything I have ever done has been to protect you.
I know that, Mum.
No. You. From the very first moments of my life, I have known that this day would come. That if I am careful, if I am smart, I have loved you for over 2,000 years, my daughter. Every move against Severus I have made, every shore I have sailed to, every step I have taken, you are the hope of us all. You are the most important person who has ever lived, and you are the most important person to me, and you always have been. The room speeds up again. The cold hits you. The wind is, it hits you really hard, and you know she did it. As the wind pushes in the room, you see the gust of wind like push all the curtains open, and the whole room, all of you experience suddenly this harsh gust of wind. And she says, quickly now. She steps outside the door into the wind and the cold, and you can see it like buffeting at her clothing and her hair pushing forward. She has a shawl over her head that's like coming down over her eyes now and flipping in the wind. And she does this to you, Aura, outside of the doorway, and then crosses her arms, though she doesn't really look cold.
I'm gonna conjure Bologna and think of a little cafe where we can start, where I've heard about those Danishes.
Okay.
I'd like to tell her a specific cafe, actually.
Well,
Oh, there's this cafe on the corner of Cherry Street, and if you go there,
as
little
you
mom and
start
pop-
thinking of the words that are coming
Yeah.
in, and the portal begins to appear in the doorway, filling where the doorway is. You can see it, Aura. The others, you probably can't. You just have to trust that Aura knows it's there. Behind where Mother Numera stands, she turns around and starts walking across the ice towards where the snow is. And you can see now that the sky is shifting and changing. because the snow stops falling outside of the house, and the sky turns completely dark, and that field of stars that you've seen before, way too many stars, appears. And as she's walking across the snow, her feet lift off of the snow a little bit, and that wind buffets up around her. There's a crackle of electricity that you can all feel as all of your hairs on your arms maybe stand on end. And facing upwards, she closes her eyes, and her toes pointed downwards, she just begins to lift upwards. The snow on the ground picks up and swirls and spirals around her into a kind of icy sphere as she lifts upwards, and suddenly an army of creatures appear on the ground in a full circle around where she is, lifting upwards into the snow. And they all look very similar to you. It's symbol, but there are first tens and then maybe hundreds, and they appear suddenly spreading out around, beyond around where this cottage is, all the way up to where the edge of the forest is, all the way into the distance. The snow continues to fall again all of a sudden, and it comes down with rain again. Torrents of rain start hitting the top of this cottage, and a thunder crack as lightning strikes. There might be 100 of these symbols that are instantly decimated and obliterated, and you can see now as Mother Numera turns around to you, her eyes are fully white, her hair is lifting off of her body, her skin becomes electrified, her clothing burns away, and another thunder crash as the sky above her just fills with lightning, and it hits some of these creatures, but they start to move now. Although several of them are hit and turned to ashes, it doesn't stop them. There's so many of these symbol-like creatures with their tentacles and their smoke, and they rush the area, scrambling over each other with a fervor, an animal-like fervor. As they gain leverage, they begin to leap at her until eventually pretty much all you guys can see out there are hundreds of these symbols. And the God Portal draws you in as the house itself pushes all of you into a single point. And Aura, you thought of Bologna?
Bologna, and then I pictured Ellie telling me about this specific cafe, and like, she can't see it, but the wisps of what she's saying like goes into the portal to kind of form where we're going.
And you're each drawn into the God Portal, and that is the end of our session today. Thank you very much for playing, players. That is the end of today's session, the end of one of my oldest NPCs in all senses of the word, and
That was depressing.
yeah, it was pretty rough, huh?
It was a great episode because we got to learn a lot about ourselves, but then, man, that was sad.
This was her purpose all along. Thanks for watching. We're going to do a round of shout-outs, and then you guys can go away, and we'll all go and have a little cry. Let's do a round. Let's start with Pocket, because she seems to be the most composed.
I'm the most composed because I have no soul.
You have no soul in real life.
I feel nothing. No soul in real life. No, but I it's funny because I tried not to smile during my role play, but I'm like, all right, I have no soul, so I wouldn't feel anything, right? And then I'm like, so I don't know. Anyway, my name's Pocket. I do a lot of stuff. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch, Beat Saber, you know, the usual stuff that's not new. And talking and having coffee. I really look forward to these role plays every Sunday. And then I have a role play on Wednesday as well on It Me JP's channel. And I love role play, so thank you for letting me stay on and not killing me off, Brad. Thank you.
Well, I sort of killed you off.
I mean, you made me unkilled.
That's good enough.
And then you removed my soul, so now I feel nothing.
Well, I mean, you did it. You stole.
Yeah.
Don't blame him for it.
Well, also...
I stole. I didn't expect to siphon souls.
Like, you checked... I love when you check the doorway, you check for, like, physical traps, and you never check for, like, arcane ones, because why would you?
Yeah.
And, yeah, you did it when you walked into this house as well, which is interesting, because there is actually a way... I was wondering whether you would do it, whether you would sense that there was a pretty... Like, because the thing is a spell, and there's a sleepy spell sort of thing, and I was wondering whether you would check for it. But you didn't. I was tempted to just curse you again and be like, well, you lost your other hand. I'm kidding, I wouldn't do that.
That would be cruel.
That
At
would be
least,
awful.
I would
got
rather
caught
my
by
character
another
just
one.
go bald at this point.
No,
I'll be one punch woman.
I think you're good for curses. Another curse on my life, KTP is played. I'm so mean to you, KPP.
It's fine.
Because I've known you
used
for
to
so
it.
long now, I feel like I can get away with it. After Sector 49, I could say anything. After the
Yeah,
horror
honestly.
show.
That was the first time I met Brad, and
The worst possible experience to have of me was that
that was
character
the
that I
best.
played. It was a good
I
experience.
miss Sector 49 so much.
So good. It was a good. By the way, that's a show that we did on Tablestory a while ago. It was a Judge Dredd show. Me and KPP played in it as I played a crazy person, and you were just you were sort of the
I was the
everyman.
mom.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so
I was
good.
the mom.
It was so good. Anyway, where can people find you in the week?
They can find me at Katie Peters Plays. My friend Art and I played a game called Escape First today. It was the most janky escape room game ever, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm playing through some scary games. I started Condemned Criminal Origins, and that's also janky in its own way, but that's been fun to play. So come hang out with me. I'm playing a shark game on Wednesday. Come watch me cry.
It's got to be an
gonna be
event
good.
on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Shark Games.
Yeah, it's like her worst fear. It's your horses for you.
Yeah.
That's
Works for
terrible.
her.
Why would you ever do that to yourself?
Because we raised a lot of money for charity, and this was like a stretch goal. I didn't think we would get it. So
Oh, yeah,
no.
I did that too.
What have you done to
I
yourself?
played a Pigman game. Worst experience of my
Oh.
life.
yeah.
Horrific.
So I'll cry a little bit. It'll be worth it though. So
Well,
Come
good
watch me
job on
scream.
raising money for charity at least.
Yeah,
it'll be
that
the
was- it's worth
last
it.
stream you ever do
yeah.
on Wednesday.
I die on stream. I'll have my heart rate monitor on, so come watch my heart rate explode.
What about you, Disby? Where can people find you? What are you doing?
You can find me here on Twitch at ThisBRX, and I play a lot of scary games myself, some roleplay here in between with other games like Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, if you want to come find me, come hang out, more than welcome. Yeah, today was a great episode, everybody. Thank you so much.
There you go. And then last but not least, PB.
Hello. Hi, I'm Pumpkinberry. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry. And I've been playing through Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. We're on Chrono Cross right now. It's amazing. It's really, really phenomenally done. It reminds me a lot of Brad's campaigns. So if you like this, you should come check it out. Also, I don't know if he's going to shout it out, but Brad's been playing one of my favorite stories in the evenings, 5 p.m. Eastern, Suikoden 2. It's really, really, really good. And he's just started, so you can still come in and join us. So you got to do that. And man, that was a really good episode. Brad, I hate you.
I know.
I hate you.
I know. There was no other way. It was
I'm
such
really
a...
glad that she didn't just like I walk in, she's like, get out. I thought that was gonna happen to me.
No, she's a very... She takes her job very seriously as a fortune teller.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a big lore dump episode, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I'll give you guys, because I know it's hard sometimes to catch all of the stuff that was said. I'll give you a rundown of what was said to you, because there was a lot in there to take in.
Yes, please.
And but yeah, I think it's so hard to do these lore dump episodes, but sometimes I'm like, I just have to do an exposition episode. So here you go. And this was the only way. And yeah, you're on to your next quests, which I thought would be really fun. And you don't have to do it this way, but I think it probably is the best way to do it, just for the record. But you go from finding her mum to her dad, which is just such a weird set of quests to be following on down this quest line.
It's gonna be like polar opposite too. So mom is like, I've loved you for 2,000 years, and dad's gonna be like, who the fuck are you?
And I'll be like, you want me to kill him now? That'd be the whole time.
Well, you guys have met him. You know, this is the thing, is it's really strange that you
Wait, what?
I don't remember this.
You guys don't remember Ezen?
Well, I mean, okay, you mean the audience has met him?
Yeah. I mean, you guys
run
have
into
met
him already.
You know, you guys have met him in character. No. It was
JPP's
Klex.
character. Yeah.
It was Alvin. No.
So you have JPP play him when we meet him.
Right. So when you were playing those three characters, I was like watching like a hawk, like how you're going to, like, how evil are you and what are you going to do, and so that I could determine how evil this character would be for when you eventually potentially meet him in the game. And you made him pretty fucking evil. Those guys were awful. They were like, yeah, let's eat the dwarf, let's keep him and fuck around with him, and it was pretty rough. So enjoy the next quest.
This is our fault again.
Oh, I have a question.
Go on.
When is there going to be a B team episode soon?
Yes, there is. Next week. Thank you for bringing me to my next segue.
Hey, we like mind melded there for 2 seconds.
Literally, I was about to say it. Next week, B team, and it will be the whole B team, including Tuesday Grey. I have to make so many overlays this week. It's the episode is called Yellow Submarine, maybe.
Yes.
Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm sure that the Inquisition gang in the Discord are pulling apart all of the words that I've said. So if you're interested in doing some theory crafting or seeing what they have to say, please check out our Discord. It's super
the only
fun.
words that matter. I have loved you for 2,000 years. Let's all go have a good cry.
All right. Let's all go have a good
I don't
cry.
know. For me, it's we could enslave them.
Which one do I call the episode? Find out on YouTube. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out. Have a nice week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.